Welcome back to Flight Sim with the Rude Man, and I am going to fly a plane that I bought a month and a half ago, and I've never flown. Messed around with it for the last 15 minutes or so, just trying to figure out how to start it up and get it running. And I think I know enough to get it in the air, so I'm going to do a little test run and see what it's all about. It is a jet plane. It is it is a small jet plane, but it's pretty. It's kind of complicated. Let's go in and take a look. You got a crew of pilot, co-pilot, and two seats in the back, so it's very small, but it's kind of luxurious for a small little jet. We'll take a quick look at it, and first let's just run through the different things I had set up. So you've got a Bose sound system, which should give you some indication as the luxury of this thing. So we've got panels here. I haven't started it yet. I'll start it in a minute. That's your main panel. You got your nav maps, your info panels here, your Garmin computers, your communications devices, things like that. We'll look at them again, like I said, in a minute. We've got some temperature control over here. This is how to control your autopilot right here in the center. We've got a throttle, and it's got auto throttle or manual throttle, which is kind of cool. So, and then your fuel control, left and right tanks, fuel. Here's what your cockpit looks like. It's got a parachute. This thing has a parachute on it. I don't know if it's functional, and I haven't seen anything about it. So I have no idea if it is. There's your starter, your engine starter. You've got some kind of counter. Now this counter, when I was started messing around, was on 4. Now it's on 9. I don't know. It's got on, off, and auto, and I'm not entirely sure what that's for. I'm assuming that it's just showing you how many hours you've got running the thing. I really don't know. That's what the back looks like. You notice that everybody's got headsets and all that kind of stuff. Kind of nice, comfortable little seats. Cup holders left and right, several of them actually. And then while we're back here, if you look, there's a door right there that you can open up. Isn't that cool? And the steps just kind of fold right out. We have a left wing view and a right wing view that I put in. And then that's what it looks like from the outside. There are 3 liveries. There's this one, a black one, and a red and gray one. This thing changes colors. The first time I looked at it, it looked like a light blue color. Now it looks like a gray. But it's bright and sunny out, and that might make the difference. All right, let's go back in and start her up. I don't know if I can start it with the door open, but I guess I could try. Well, there's no real need in it, I suppose. So let's close the door. If I can figure out how. Sweet. That's so cool. All right. So let's just get started. We'll head down here. We'll turn our batteries on. Put our strobe light on. Get ready for that. You see we've got lights here, external landing and ice lights. We've got master oxygen, which we're going to need. Fresh air, probe heat. We've got your ice protection over here. I don't have weather turned on today, so we don't need any of that. We do need some air, though, so I'll turn that on. And then, what else have we got here? Nav. We'll set the nav up in a minute. Let's see if we can start the engine. And we need to get rid of the Bose stuff. So let's go to our info panel. And let's see if I go here. We've got a checklist we can do. There is a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. And I have no idea how to use hardly any of it. So I'm going to have to study a little bit on this thing. But for now, we got aircraft systems. We can go back. We've got this right here, luggage, static, status, Bose. There's your Bose. We can turn the headphones off. And then you can activate noise reduction, and it requires headphones on. And the headphones on, I think they're talking about in the Microsoft Flight Simulator itself has a sound for headphones. I think that's what they're talking about, but I don't know. I think by clicking this, it just takes them off the dashboard. So there's that. And you got your PDF and your MFD and your NavCom. Now, all of these are interchangeable. So I can set any of these by button. There's the NavCom now on this side. So it's all interchangeable. And right now it's set for GPS. We're going to use the GPS. I'm not going to put in a flight plan. I'm just going to do a direct flight to Portland just for a test. It's going to be a very short flight, I think. But we'll see. So first of all, let me get this thing going. I'm going to set this for 6,000, 5,000 maybe. I'll set it for 6,000. Okay, and then we're going to set flight director we'll put on, and I'm going to use, let's see, I'm going to try to use the flight control here to bring it up to that and see how that works. I haven't really used any of this. I manually took the plane up and flew it around for 20 minutes trying to figure all this stuff out, so I don't need any of this right now because I'm not going to use any of the auto landing or anything like that. The ILS stuff I'm not using. So, oh, by the way, I'm flying out of where I live. So we're on the Oregon coast. We're going to go to Portland. So I can do a direct flight instead of a flight plan. We'll do a direct flight, and the waypoint is going to be KPDX. So KPD X and enter, and it puts Portland International on there, and that should be all we need to do. If not, yeah, it did put it up there. We are on GPS over here. You can change this over here, but you can see it's GPS set up here, and we got our altitude set. Let's set the barometer. Of course, it doesn't want to do that. Bleed off, probe heat off, and parking brake is on. So there's a lot of information on here. I mean, a ton of information, and I just don't know much about any of this. So it's going to be, what I want to do today is figure out if I can fly this thing while I'm learning all that stuff, so that I can at least functionally fly it and get from point A to point B. I want to find out how easy or how hard it is to land and to take off and land, so that if I decide to go on a trip with this, I can at least manually fly it if I can't figure out all this other stuff. There's heat over here. I already showed you that. I think that's probably about it. I think we're about ready to go. So isn't that weird? I'm assuming that's the jet engine right there. That thing right there is what's pushing us along. Now, if you look at it, it's really not a very big plane. It really isn't, but it is sleek. I'll tell you that. I'm not going to do a pushback. I'm going to see if I can get around this guy without taking his head off. So let's take the parking brake off. It's a noisy little rat, isn't it? All right, now before I get on this ramp here, let me go back inside. I want to make sure I've got what I need to have on the outside while I'm flying. So let me take this stuff out, put it on my other screen over there, so I can see what I'm doing and where I'm going and that kind of stuff. It's a lot quieter in here. Of course, we've got Bose headsets on. That would be quieter, wouldn't it? Let's see, you know what? Yeah, we're okay. I'm gonna go down the other end. Man, this thing really goes. This thing really gets. I don't think it needs a lot of runway. Now, this is a very small town, so it's not like there's a huge runway here, but there's more than enough for this. So yeah, this is Astoria. We're taking off from Astoria on the coast, Oregon coast. Mouth of the Columbia is right in front of me, kind of, sort of. I wouldn't normally be traveling this fast. I'm just having fun with this little thing. It seems to handle pretty good on the ground. It's got more than enough power, seems like. All right, let's throw a brake on here and get onto the runway. All right, one last check before we take off. Okay, so I came down to look at this, and I had put KPDX in, and I hit enter, but I did not activate it. So I came in down here, and I hit the activate button, and we're ready to go. Now you can see it on the map. I was wondering why I couldn't see it on the map. So, good to know. Buttons to push. So Let's see if we can get this thing off the ground. I think I put a flap down. The takeoff is flap 1. I put 1 flap down. And full throttle. Oh, it's telling me I've got the probe heat is not on. I didn't think I needed it because I don't have weather on. There we go. We're up. Put the flap back up. And gear up. Whoops. Okay, autopilot on. Come around here. Wow, we're that far away from the airport already. Okay. Looks like the autopilot took over, and it looks like we're climbing. Now, we're going to 6,000 feet. I'm wondering, it tells me the bleed is off. Am I supposed to have... That's the fresh air. That's the bleed, I think. And then, yeah, so the bleed is off. Takeoff thrust. There, the probe heat is on. On the throttle, I can set it to auto throttle, and it'll take over. And so it's controlling the throttle now. Now, when you do that, the throttle that I am using on my desk was at full throttle. And you noticed that the throttle down there was moving on its own when mine isn't moving at all. You need to be aware of that only in that if I was to look down at my desk to see my throttle at full, I might go, oh my God, let's pull that back. And I could pull it back and nothing's going to happen because I have it on automatic. And you can change it to manual and adjust here the speed. So there you go. But we're doing fine. It's climbing. It's going to get up to 6,000 and take over, and everything's hunky so that was easy. This thing is pretty smooth. Okay, so let's see. Is there anything else that I was supposed to do? I'm not sure about the generators, if I'm supposed to have the generators going or not. I mean, evidently I don't need them to fly. Interesting. What else have we got? What else did I miss? Okay. PDF home. I'm not using any of this. I don't need the heat. I don't have weather on. Just as long as it's cold. I can play with that at some other time. Now, what I'm kind of looking for is where are all the light switches? I mean, this is Ice Protect, and I've got exterior lights, strobe, land, and ice. Aren't there a bunch of other lights I'm supposed to be having on and off? I mean, it's not a very big plane. It's not like I need cabin lights and all kinds of crap like that. I don't know. Man, it's quiet on the inside. If we look at the outside, have we got a headset on? Yeah, we do. This is the, oh, I forgot. This is the Cirrus Vision Jet G2 there. £300 for baggage. Okay, there's light on the wing. See that little blinky blinky? And there's one on this wing. I tried the black livery and I didn't like it. It's too dark and it's solid. It's just the plane almost disappears. You know, it's kind of weird looking. Anyway, we got the strobe lights on. I guess there's just a couple of switches. It's weird. We're at Vernonia already. Holy smokes! This thing really moves. Wow, it really does. So anyway, while we're flying, I'm just kind of looking around, trying to get used to everything. Because hell, a half hour ago, I didn't even know what this plane was all about. It's just amazing, and there's so much information. I haven't watched any. Oh, it's got the flight ID right there. That's me. RSJ53. There is a lot of information. It shows we're on a direct flight to KPDX. If we had set a flight flight plan, it would show each leg of it right here. It would say KAST to KPDX. And it's in purple, so that means that's the leg we're on. Tells you the distance in miles. Man, we're flying fast. We're almost 250. Estimated time here. And then if you had a plan to add 6 legs to it, the current leg would be listed here. So you would know exactly where you're at on the flight plan. Right here, it's kind of a straight flight. Now, all of this stuff up here, these are all little VFRs and airports and all that kind of stuff. That's all that this is right here. It's showing all the little airports and the little VORs and all that junk. But look how fast we're going. The last time I took this flight, it took me an hour to get here. We're almost there. Man, this thing is quick. All the stuff up here, all information, the current information that you might need, gauges, all kinds of junk. You can change all this, by the way. You can zoom this in and out. You can change it to a different kind of style of map. You can change it to a terrain map, all kinds of different stuff. Depends on what you want to see. In my case, I kind of like to see where the airports are in case there's an emergency. I know, oh, wait, wow, we got to come down. We got to come down fast. Look, there's the airport right there. So I usually kind of run with the airport showing so I know kind of where I'm at. Scappoose Industrial Airport. Man, this thing is nice and quiet on the inside. Noisy as hell on the out. Now I can edit the noise of the plane out when I edit the video, which is what I usually do, because I've got the engine sounds almost off on the game, and it's still noisy. Okay, where are we at? We're coming in pretty close. We're at 6,000 feet. I think I'm going to drop that. Let's bring it down to about 35, and then we can use the VS to take it down, vertical speed. We don't need to go down too fast because I still have a distance to go, so I'll just put it at about 1700. But we're coming in fast because, you know, there's the Columbia already. We're probably looking at about right there. Amazing. This thing is amazing. It's kind of fun to fly. It's kind of scary though, because there's so much I don't know about it. Yeah, we're at Portland already. I can't believe it. I gotta find out about that parachute. That's kind of weird. Okay, so I'm gonna go down and take it off of auto throttle because I want to slow it down before we get to the airport. And we're not using any kind of ILS. I'm just manually flying, so I was letting the GPS take us on our direction, but I'm going to pretty much just fly it. Airport's coming up here. Put our landing gear down. Slow it up a little bit. Go ahead and start bringing it down. Kick the autopilot off. Let's see. I'm going to go to that runway right down there that I usually take off from. That's that should be 10 left, I think. Hey, there's that little airport right across the river here. Pearson Field, but this we're in Washington right now. To the left of the river is Washington, to the right is Oregon. So Pearson Field is in Washington. Now, some of the movement in the plane is me with this. That's the rudder. I don't. I've got a set of rudder pedals, but I don't use them. And I might someday, but I don't use them now. So the stick, my flight stick, twists left and right, and that's my rudder. That's how I steer when I'm on the ground. The problem is sometimes I'm a little bit nervous kind of a guy, and as I'm using the throttle to go, to bank left and right, like I'm doing right now, I sometimes grip the thing so tight that I twist it at the same time. When I do, that turns the rudder and makes it kind of jump around like it's doing. So let me put a flap down. And slow it down, come down a little bit more. I don't think this thing needs a lot of runway, but I'm drifting off to the left a little bit. Let me get down here. I'm surprised that the TAWS hasn't come on. This thing's got a system on it that the terrain system, man, it goes nuts.
500.
Not lined up real good. It's a good thing about a small plane, though. It's very maneuverable, and you can maneuver at the last minute. Yeah, I could have done a little better job of lining up. Whoop. There we go. I touched just a little and raised the nose up, but as you could see, it handles pretty gently. I didn't have a great big jar. You could just feel the rear tires hit, and then I brought the nose down and it gently came down. Man, this thing flies nice. I like it. I was surprised. It's touchy because it's so damn fast. I like this plane. Right, I'm gonna come in here where the big boys are parking and show them what a real plane looks like. Parking brake on. Flaps are up. We can come in here and turn some things down, I guess. Lights off. Start the engines. Let's see, I can turn it to off and then stop. That's as easy as it gets. And that counter over there now is at 13. I don't know if you can reset that. There must be a way. I don't know anything about it, so anyway, so let's just quickly kind of go through here. Turn that off. We can do that, and we're down. That's as easy as it gets. Wow, sweet. All right, well, I hope you like that. Look, when I turn everything off, it put the cones down. Oh, and it's covered the pitot. It's covered them. Look. I didn't notice that. That is sweet. Now, I'm glad that happens all automatic because I didn't know. All right, so we're going to have to play with this plane a little bit because I'm sure there's a lot more to it. I know that when I looked at here, it said something about the cargo and that kind of stuff. There must be more to it. There must be. So there's going to be a little bit of playing in this. I think this is kind of fun, though. I might introduce this into our USA tour. Let's see, where are we sitting at as I'm recording this? I'm recording this. I'm sitting in Ohio, I think, Cleveland. I'm sitting at Cleveland right now. That's it isn't going to make any sense to you if you see this today, because we're not at Cleveland yet for you, but that's where I'm sitting. So anyway, I'm going to end it here. Hope you had fun. Hope to see you in the next video. Ta-ta for now.